Hey guys, this is Uncharted 2, Tranq gun only, chapter 16, Where Am I? There's not much to this, it's a beautiful bit of pacing though, so I did want to talk about it, and keep it in as always, because continuity of the guide. I feel it'd be a bit strange if I just left it out. But I like this because you've got to understand, if you're playing through this game, you know, you've just been through hell. Literal hell. The player and Drake have both, you know, been on that train ride. Oh, trying to commit suicide there. Just been on absolute hell of the train ride, and it gives you a moment to breathe, which is very much needed, and Uncharted 3 desperately needed this after the plane, and in fact the bit just after the plane, because that's even worse than the plane itself, isn't it? The plane's a very short sequence on Uncharted 3, as we'll just get around a bit quicker than the game wants us to. But Uncharted 3 has a massive shootout, and let's just score a goal, I guess. Kick it. Never quite got the hang of it into bed just yet. But you can actually do quite a bit actually. You can do a bit of interacting, going to a lot of buildings. Just like that, usually by pressing triangle. So it's not completely walkie-talkie. At least you can interact and actually, you know, play a game here. Unlike most games which just have walking and talking. Took far too many lessons from Star Wars prequels there. And in fact I think that'll be the end of the level, so probably going to combine this with chapter 17 I would expect. Let's just see here. We're going to actually skip one of my favourite lines in the game actually. But yeah, that's chapter 16 guys, not much to that. But here we go, we get two good old chapters of just pure platforming. So I actually skipped one of my favourite lines actually that Drake ever says, and it's I hope I live to regret this. It's never really cropped up for me to use in a normal conversation. It's not the typical thing you say as a young man in modern day Britain. A bit more relevant with COVID-19 going on, I suppose. But yeah, I just love this bit of pacing. It's something Uncharted 3 desperately needs. Pacing is so underrated and so important in games. You know, my favourite games, you know, MGS3, Resident Evil, etc. They all have superb pacing. MGS3 particularly with the boss fights and the ensuing moments after boss fights. You know, MGS3 will build up to boss fights and then slow things right down straight after. And it constantly does that over a 12-hour span of these crescendos of being extremely intense to, you know, extremely relaxing. And it just makes for a perfect game, as close as you can get to perfect. Resident Evil 4 is quite similar. That's more of an action-focused game, and more providing on enemy interaction. You know, fighting the zombies or ganados if you want to get technical. And but that game's superbly paced. You know, it never feels a bit too much. You know, the only poor sequence in that game is towards the end when it gets a bit too Resident Evil 6. You know, with having a chopper show up and miniguns going off and everything. And my other one of my favourite games would be DMC3, which is similar to MGS3. You builds up to boss fights and then builds back down, and also has incredible pacing. You know, the only weak moment in that game I think is because it feels a bit fillery just before the end, as we'll see, because we are going to play Devil May Cry 3, of course. Dante's Awakening.
Those things bite, you know.
But yeah, that's just my little thing on pacing. It's so important in a game. It's actually why Call of Duty 4 is probably my favourite campaign, and easily the best paced one, because straight after that nuke goes off, which is a very big deal when it first came out. The game goes and then gives you a sniping mission all gillied up, which is fantastic, and it's needed for the pace. It slows the game down, but not in a bad way. You know, it gives you a moment to breathe before the action comes back for the third act, as you've got to stop nuclear Armageddon from happening. Back when COD games weren't nuclear weapons going off every 5 seconds in the single player. But another little tidbit, interesting note, this is the level that sort of inspired The Last of Us. It was kind of this idea of two people, you know, going through a hostile environment, I suppose is a good term for it. And they kind of thought, why not make a game like this? And I think the opening sections of The Last of Us, particularly with Joel and Tess, do get some, you know, Nate and Tenzin vibes. And Tenzin, I believe, is, or at least his mocap is from Robert Atkin Downes, who's always appearing in this franchise. very, you know, big name in video games, in a lot of video games. He's Navarro in Uncharted 1. He's Tenzin's mocap actor in this one, and I think he plays... Oh, what's his name in Uncharted 3? Is it Talbot? That really terrible villain? Yeah, it's him. Yeah. He plays Marlowe in... not Marlowe. Marlowe's the woman. He plays Talbot in that in Uncharted 4. Is he in Uncharted 4? Well, I think he plays Hector Alcazar, if that's his name. I won't give any spoilers away, but yeah, he's got a small role in that. He's also probably more famous these days for Kaz in Metal Gear Solid, Peace Walker, and Ground Zeroes, and The Phantom Pain. A game that left us all with a bit of Phantom Pain. Right, let's move on here. I have to say, the remastering, Blue Point, I believe, handled this. They did a fantastic job. There's a moment coming up later where the ice just looks absolutely phenomenal. There's a certain bit in Uncharted 3 as well where I actually had to stop and pause because it was so incredible to look at. And I'm not typically that kind of person. I'm not, you know, for me, graphics are the least important thing in a game, you know, completely. And it's one of the reasons I don't like walking in games, you know, forced walking, because I always say if a game's pretty enough, I will stop to look at it. You know, the game doesn't need to force me to do that. I mean, just look at DMC5, that game's amazing, and I do stop occasionally to just take it all in, some of the design on it. And it's the same with Uncharted 3 in this remaster. And to say, you know, Naughty Dog are known for their cinematic things and moments and stuff, they don't force you to do a lot of forced walking like a lot of games like to do now. It's easily one of my least favourite things in modern video games. You know, just give me a cutscene that I can skip. You know, Kojima figured that out back in like 1998. I don't know why everyone else hasn't cottoned on. And Kojima's not free from that by any means. You know, MGS5 had force walking. Now, this rope could be the death of me. I absolutely hate this. Somewhat with the detection on this that I don't get that. I honestly do not get this jump. This could be a long time, this. I just don't know what it is with this. I love the idea that Drake survives absolutely everything just to die and leave Tenzin alone in this cave. I don't get this rope at all. I really don't. I get the swinging and everything, but I blame Uncharted 4. That should be it. No, he doesn't seem to get any momentum. Like, this happened recently when I was playing this game, and I don't know why. Right, he should have grabbed it there. Oh wow. You know when I was talking about jumping on Uncharted in Mission 2 and how Uncharted 4 improved it massively? This is precisely what I mean. But this is, I don't get this at all. I don't know why sometimes it works. Should we try and move it side on? Try and get some momentum, I guess? I don't feel like I'm going very far, that's the issue. That it? There we go. What's annoying is it doesn't even make the jump anywhere. Oh, I hate it. It's probably something that I didn't used to mind that much. I do remember it, but I think Uncharted 4's made that a lot worse because of how improved the climbing is in that. I mean, just look at the platforming you do in the Scotland levels. Is it levels or just the one? There might be 2 levels in that Scotland bit. And it's just flawless. All the fun sliding with the gravel and everything. I mean, Uncharted's a funny one to talk about, Uncharted 4. I remember hearing we were going to get some single player DLC. And everybody, and I mean everybody, wanted Sully and Sam. It seemed obvious. It even hinted at it at the end of the game. But no, we get Nadine and Chloe because nobody asked for that.
What did this?
Can I skip this? No.
What did this?
I love the throwback. You find Drake's Uncharted 2 book in the attic in Uncharted 4 and he has a picture of Tenzin, doesn't he? I think he says something like, "Oh, Tenzin, hope you're alright, buddy." I love that. Tenzin, best character in the series. I just love it. It's how they communicate without any language. It's a lot of fun, actually. Yeah, Naughty Dog, yeah, absolutely nailed this sequence. I don't know if there's anybody that actually quite likes this sequence as much as me, but I think it's a great part of the game because it's needed. You know, you don't have this in here, it's Uncharted 3. A mess.
Alright, just stay here.
It's what elevates it above Uncharted 1. You know, along with the improved shooting and everything. Pacing is the big difference, I think, between the Uncharted 1 and 2. But just look at this ice. I mean, I don't know how beautiful this will look with YouTube's compression and that, but they did a, you know, this remaster was, you know, the game was 6 years old when they remastered it, and you know, it's what, 11 years old now, and just look at the water here. It's beautiful. I really appreciate it. It's a superb job by Blue Point. As we need to go around, don't we? But this water, I can't get over it. Like I say, I'm not someone that cares too much for graphics at all in games, as I just get a bit lost here. I just love it. You know, Uncharted 1 they didn't really have much to play with, and that does look a bit rougher around the edges. But this game, wow. And as I say, Uncharted 3, they did some great work with that as well. Right, I seem to remember some climbing up. Yeah, I can see the climbing bits there. There they are, see them. No. Alright, sorry, I have seen the bit where I need to climb though, so let's go. Just do an awkward jump there. They certainly got a lot better at hiding these. But Naughty Dog are great at like showing you where to go without any kind of minimap or compass or markers. It's all done very naturally. Something very impressive. Something I really appreciate in games.
Hey, Schaefer says hello.
So
Let's hope this.
you know, I am curious. Can we even use the Tranq gun here? Will it work in our favour? I mean, I wasn't planning on using it. No, you can't use any guns in this mission. That's fine.
This is loaded.
It's fine because we're not killing anything in this mission, so it's all good. As we get one of these bad boys. I can't remember the name for these. Tenzin's dead. In fact, yeah, Tenzin just stays there, doesn't he? Dormant now. It's quite funny, you can even run over him. But so we get unlimited ammo here, so feel free to go nuts. This can be a bit awkward. Nearly dead. So we need to make sure we don't get hit anytime soon. Health regeneration is very quick there. Wish it was like that normally. Oh, don't know why I'm trying to punch him. But yeah, just trust the blind fire because it's awesome. Okay, it's not DMC, I can't dodge like that. This is what happens when you play DMC. Could die here. Oh, I'm alright. Oh, triangle. Square. God, you get so much time on that. It's not DMC. Stop trying to dodge. That's what I get. That's what I get for being a DMC noob. Oh yeah. Tenzin's gonna have to save us, isn't he? To the rescue. It's funny because I actually remember absolutely hating all this when I first played the game because, you know, my taste in games were very different in 2009. I just wanted endless shooting, really. And I did not care for this. I was like, can we get back to the shooting, please?
The hell was that thing?
And then I didn't even finish the game anyway because I got bored of the endless shooting in Chapter 22 because that mission's too long. And that is the closest you get to Uncharted 1 in just endless shooting. Obviously I finished the game eventually, but I remember taking a break on Chapter 22, just really losing interest. I think I went and just played Call of Juarez Bound in Blood instead, which if you know that game, you're elite. That game was awesome. And I always think it's co-op. You know, if you did play Call of Juarez Bound in Blood, simple question, why was that game not co-op? It was actually made for co-op, and it wasn't. Like, my memory tells me it had co-op, but it just didn't. Absolutely balmy. You know, and I've learned during this lockdown that there's not enough PlayStation games that have co-op. It's actually really frustrating. You know, compare that to the Xbox where I can go, due to backwards compatibility of course, I can go on Gears of War, all the Halos. Got an endless array of options for co-op games, but on PlayStation I've really not got much. Got Resident Evil 5 and 6, and Resi 5's a fine game. Even has some pretty low points. But it's just, you know, those aren't great offerings. Obviously Resi 6 is one of the worst games of all time. I'm not even going to get into that can of worms just yet.
Must be getting somewhere.
But I think we're near the end of this mission now. Been quite a fun one, and that's the end of that mission, so I'll have to carry on my tangent to the next level. Hope you enjoyed, guys. I'll see you for mission 18, Heart of Ice. Thanks for watching.